Are you scared? I can see you from behind. You can hear me in your mind. Run so fast as you can go. Time will catch you before you know.
Starting 4 generations ago, a haunted doll named Joliet cursed the daughters and mothers of the family that owned her. The doll was passed from mother to daughter, with each daughter growing up playing with Joliet, unaware that they were now cursed. When these daughters had children, they would always have both a daughter and a son, but the son would die at 3 days old. Many believe the spirits of the dead sons haunt the doll, cursing the daughters in the family. At night, the doll is said to emit the cries of many infants, and sometimes even lets out a terrifying scream. Anna, one of the owners of Joliet, shared that the curse began when her great-grandmother received the doll from a jealous friend while pregnant with her second child, a son who also died at 3 days old. Despite the curse, Anna says the doll will stay in the family because they believe the spirits of their lost sons are trapped inside and they don't want to harm them. She plans to eventually pass Joliet down to her own daughter. The family has sought help from psychics, mediums, clergy, and paranormal investigators, but all have dismissed her claims. Still, Anna is convinced that her family is meant to keep Joliet and bear this curse forever. Before we continue, do you have a fear of dolls? Let me know in the comments with a simple yes or no. Tickle-Me Elmo was a hugely popular toy more than a decade ago, with many parents going to great lengths to get one for Christmas. One family, the Bowmans, bought an Elmo Knows Your Name doll, which could be programmed to say a child's name through a computer. However, after the doll's batteries were replaced, it began to malfunction in a terrifying way. The doll started repeatedly saying, "Kill James," whenever its belly was squeezed. This horrified James's mother, Melissa Bowman, who heard the doll seemingly threatening her 2-year-old son, James Brown. She was distraught and couldn't believe what she was hearing. Even more troubling, James began repeating the doll's disturbing phrase, "Kill James, kill James." Elmo was James's favorite character, and he had Elmo slippers and other Elmo-themed items. When the doll started acting erratically, Melissa had to take it away, causing James to desperately try to retrieve his favorite toy from high places. Fisher-Price, the toy's manufacturer, promised to send a replacement and investigate the issue to ensure no other Elmo dolls had similar problems. After the replacement, James was able to enjoy his beloved Elmo once again. But the incident left a lasting impression, making Sesame Street seem a lot scarier than before. Letta the Gypsy doll is a 200-year-old marionette that Kerry Walton discovered in a haunted house. Kerry, in his early 20s, bravely ventured into the house one night, facing his childhood fear. In the cellar, he found a trap door and, amidst the dust, came across the eerie doll with eyes that seemed to stare right at him. Kerry took the doll home, feeling strangely drawn to it despite its unsettling appearance. Initially planning to sell it, he changed his mind, fascinated by its mysterious aura. He took Letta to a museum, where experts dated it to around 200 years old, crafted in an Eastern European style with human hair and a simulated brain beneath its scalp. Psychics later suggested that the doll was carved in the likeness of a deceased boy who had drowned at the age of 6, possibly housing his spirit. Named Letta Me Out, or Letta for short, the doll is believed to hold the soul of the young boy. While not malevolent, Letta's presence often causes fear and unease. Dogs bark hysterically, and people gasp at the sight of his fearful, sad eyes. Some even claim to feel a pulse when holding him, and like other haunted dolls, Letta is said to move on his own accord.
Now, Kerry, you, some 25 years ago, found a doll, not just any doll, How spooky have you found having possession of this doll?
Very spooky.
Why?
Just lots of funny things have happened. Things falling off walls, people being afraid, people just not wanting to come into the house where he is or in the room or anything like that. Yeah, it's just very, very spooky doll.
You have brought the doll. I haven't seen this yet, and Lena, our spiritual consultant, has not seen the doll and will give us a reading. Would you like to show us your doll? He's not too attractive.
No.
Now, what have you... Oh, what weird eyes. What have you found out about this doll? How old is it and where was it made?
It's about 200 years old and it was supposed to be made in Eastern Europe, and they actually dated him by these nails in the bottom of his feet here, you see. And, yeah, Eastern Europe, that's what they say.
The doll is original, a couple of hundred years old, from Eastern Europe. Why is he sort of so evil? What weird things have happened?
Well, we had him at a supermarket. We were doing a show at a supermarket, and there was one lady that was coming through the supermarket. She didn't see the doll or anything, and she just said something was very, very evil, and she actually screamed and passed out, and they took her off to hospital. Strange things like that. One medium we took him to said that she'd done a few things with him over the years, and she actually rang me up the other day and said, I don't want no more to do with the doll because I'm having lots of bad luck and I feel the vibes are coming from the doll. Why
don't you just get rid of the doll? You found it in the base of a house 25 years ago. Why don't you just get rid of it?
I can't.
Why?
It's just... I've tried to get rid of it before. When we were buying our first home, I needed some money in a hurry and I decided to sell him, and I'd advertised him and I took him to the place. A lady had rung me and wanted to buy it, and I tried to take him out of the car, but I don't know, I just couldn't take him out. It was...
The story of Peggy the Doll. Peggy the Doll is known to cause various paranormal phenomena and distressing experiences for those who come into contact with her. The story of Peggy begins when a woman, who could not rid her home of the doll's strange activities, handed her over to Jane Harris, a paranormal investigator in the United Kingdom. The previous owner reported that after acquiring Peggy, she began experiencing horrific nightmares and felt constantly watched and followed. She also suffered from persistent headaches and nausea. These experiences led her to conclude that the doll was haunted. When Jane Harris received the doll, she decided to conduct further investigations. She placed Peggy in a separate room and began recording her activities. It soon became apparent that anyone who interacted with Peggy, even through photos or videos, could have unpleasant experiences. Some of these experiences included night terrors, feelings of dread and horror, headaches, and even chest pains. In one particularly notable incident, a woman reportedly had a heart attack just minutes after watching a video of Peggy. This incident heightened concerns about Peggy's potential impact on people's health. To better understand these phenomena, Harris consulted with psychic mediums. During sessions with the mediums, it was suggested that the spirit inhabiting Peggy might be that of a woman who had suffered greatly during her lifetime. Because of her traumatic experiences, the spirit was now trying to attract attention through the doll. Most people don't find a Raggedy Ann doll scary until they learn about Annabelle. The doll from the movie The Conjuring is based on a real doll owned by paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. In the 1970s, a mother bought her daughter Donna a Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby store. Donna and her roommate soon noticed the doll changing positions on its own. At first, they thought they were imagining things, but then the doll moved from the couch to a bed while they were out. Their friend Lou suggested the doll was haunted, but Donna and her roommate tried to ignore it. Then Donna started finding pieces of parchment paper with messages like, "Help Lou" and "Help us." No one in the house owned parchment paper. One day they found the doll in Donna's bed with blood on its hands. Scared, Donna called a medium. The medium said a girl named Annabelle Higgins had died in a field where the apartment complex was later built. Annabelle's spirit, feeling safe with Donna, had entered the doll. Relieved at first, things soon got worse. Lou began having nightmares about the doll choking him. One day, he heard noises in Donna's room. When he checked, he found Annabelle in a corner. As he approached the doll, he felt a burning sensation on his chest and found claw marks. They contacted an Episcopalian priest, who directed them to Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens found a demon was attached to the doll, aiming to possess Donna. A priest performed an exorcism, and the Warrens took the doll. At the Warrens' home, the doll levitated and moved around on its own. Another exorcism was attempted but failed. Finally, they locked Annabelle in a glass case where she remains to this day. Did you get scared or not? If you haven't yet, then keep watching the rest of the post. The Hands Resist Him is a haunted painting that gained notoriety after being sold on eBay. Created by artist Bill Stoneham in 1972, the painting features a spooky doll standing next to a child in front of a glass door. It has a reputation for causing fear, screams, and even sickness among those who view it. The painting's eerie reputation grew when past owners claimed that the figures in the painting moved on their own at night and sometimes disappeared from the canvas entirely. Some people even reported seeing the boy from the painting appear in their room. Viewers often described feeling weak or experiencing sensations like hot air or unseen hands touching them. Children were known to run away screaming from the painting. Interestingly, attempts to reproduce prints of the painting have reportedly failed for some, and simply viewing it online has left others feeling sick with horror. Even the artist, Bill Stoneham, was surprised by these reports. The painting has been the subject of paranormal investigations, adding to its mystique. Allegedly, 2 people who reviewed the painting passed away within a year, further fueling its haunted reputation. In October 2004, a woman from Texas bought a voodoo zombie doll from New Orleans on eBay. The doll was in a metal box, and when the woman took it out to display it, the doll attacked her. Terrified, she put it back in its box, but it started to haunt her dreams. Desperate, she tried to burn the doll, but it wouldn't burn. She then tried to cut it with a knife, but the knife broke. Finally, she attempted to bury it in a graveyard, but the doll dug its way out and returned to her doorstep. She decided to sell the doll again on eBay. After sending it to the buyer, the doll disappeared and reappeared on her doorstep. This happened multiple times, with the doll always returning to her. The original seller had warned that the doll was alive and should never be taken out of its case, but she didn't heed this warning. When she tried to contact the seller in New Orleans, she received no response. She sent the doll back to the seller, but it came back to her with a note saying the recipient was deceased. Finally, she asked a priest to bless the box. Even though the priest blessed it, the evil spirit inside the doll remained. The woman locked the doll in its silver case and stored it in her attic, where it has stayed for more than 2 years. So, as we conclude our journey into the realm of haunted dolls, remember that sometimes what appears harmless can hide the darkest secrets. Will you dare to uncover the truth behind these haunted relics, or will their mysteries continue to haunt your thoughts long after this video ends?